Welcome, you all. I am Baron Baptiste. Welcome to Disrupt the Drift, the place where we can tell the truth and the truth can be told. We're going to talk about something I think that impacts all of us in life today, and that is about the fear that stops us from speaking up, the fear that stops us from following our true north. And I'm here with David Masters. How you doing, David?
Fantastic, Baron. Another day in paradise.
Yeah. Another day on this earth. Something to be grateful for.
Yeah. Amen.
Every moment, an opportunity to discover something about yourself, about life, to grow and to pursue what's true and higher purpose. So we have a question here. So I'll just spit it right out. Having been a people pleaser my whole life, I've realized that this tendency is preventing me from stepping out and pursuing things I want to do, especially where there's a risk of being judged, rejected, or attacked. How can I overcome this mindset of fear and start prioritizing my own pursuits in life? It's a good question. Yeah, the person who sent this in, thank you. It's a good one. What's your take, David? Yeah.
The operative word here, and she has, I think it's a woman.
It is from a woman, yeah.
Okay. She has identified fear as a focal point of causality. Fear has always a root, and the root goes down deep into a need for love and acceptance. And a people pleaser is a person who has not been given a nurturing kind of love that allows them to be free to be their true self. And what that does is it turns you into a person who is either suffocating or starving to death for real love. And then, so I looked up the word people pleaser, as I love to do. And here's what it says: an obsequious, subservient person. So I thought, okay, obsequious, I love this word. I used it in a conversation just recently. Obsequious, full of exhibiting servile compliance, fawning. Promptly obedient or submissive to the will of another, compliant, yielding to the desires of another. So what we have to do is look at this idea. And I think, just to give you an example, when a calf is born to a cow, if the mother cow is somehow separated from the calf, will die. It will just shrink out of existence. It needs the nurturing of its mother in order for it to grow up and become a big, healthy, either male or female cow. And the same thing is true. We need love. And there are kinds of love, though, that are toxic. And so this is another area in which people descend into people pleasing, because what happens is that, let's say you're nurtured on the wrong kind of love, a overly supportive love. So that kind of approval-based love can also turn you into a creature. It can keep you from actually discovering what it means to be your true self. And I don't think we're necessarily talking about that, but I'm saying there are two kinds of love. There is healthy love and there is unhealthy love. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that people pleasing is its own kind of prison. And the only way out is through putting yourself out into the world and putting yourself out at risk, sticking your neck out, being at issue with the status quo. And I think it's good to know that, yeah, you will be judged. You will be attacked. It comes with the territory, but also consider people are already judging you, and they're up for being weak or being submissive or conforming. But worse than that, you're judging yourself, because you know that more is possible for you, that you have greater potential in life that you're not tapping into. You're not in the realization of it. And so it's the unfortunate reality, in my experience of humanity and default humanity, is that you will be judged. People judge. But you also, when you start putting yourself out and you dig deep, and you really don't have to dig deep, but to find courage and just start doing the thing. And as Emerson said, do the thing and you will have the power. And when you start doing the things that you feel called to do, or things that are of interest to you, that yes, are risky, you'll also find love from people You'll find people who, yeah, the people who will judge, and that's what they do. But you'll also find love from people and a kind of recognition or admiration from the kind of people that you want anyhow, you want in your life anyhow. And in my experience, it's a smaller majority. So that will judge you and attack you. It's a smaller minority of a few crazies or a few people that just don't like you, or people, we just see that. It's everywhere in our culture now, whether on social media or people go way below the belt in their attacks. They'll attack your appearance. They'll attack any mistake you make. But it just comes with the territory. So you have to grow some tough skin. You have to, but it's only through doing of it that you actually have the opportunity to develop that tough skin, to develop a resiliency, to develop a confidence that it stands for something in your life.
Baron, when we talk about love, here's the thing. All love on a human level is conditional. It is by nature conditional. And it's almost like you enter into a contract with somebody, and the contract is, I do this for you, and then you have to do this for me.
Like transactional, yeah.
Yeah, it's transactional. The sad part of this whole thing is that we are brought into this world, and hopefully parents are aware enough to know that they could potentially set up their children for absolute failure by giving them the wrong kind of love. And we see a lot of that in our society today. And some parents naturally, by their own experience in life and their own upbringing, have discovered that there's a secret to success. And the secret is, don't use unnecessary pressure to get conformity. Because conformity is a contract with a person who's trying to twist your arm and make you be a certain way.
Yeah, if you have an overbearing mother or an overbearing parent or authority in your life, especially when you're young, and they're applying pressure on you to conform, to follow the rules, to do things right, to get straight A's, to whatever the things, you conform, but in that you become a different version of yourself, or what I'll call a not self. You lose yourself. And then you grow up, and as you start waking up, you realize, wait, I'm still living out this mindset that was applied to myself, applied to me through outer pressure. But now it's time, as you wake up, to stop giving in to that, start choosing another way, taking another path, which goes against that drift, against the grain of business as usual.
Yeah.
The only way out is walking through the fire.
Yes, absolutely.
And confronting the fear. Yeah.
So the fear is, again, it's, if you imagine having a tooth that needs a root canal, the pain that's in that root of decay is what's causing you to realize that there's something wrong. And this is good because whoever this is has identified it as fear. But then the question is, what is it fear actually of? Is it fear of people being disappointed in you? Is it fear of you losing something, and it's a personal thing, and you're worried about how this will affect you if you don't just go along? And one of the words of being a people pleaser associated with that is subordinate incapacity or function. You can never be free to be yourself if you feel that you have to be subordinate. Now, if you're in the military, it's another thing. You have to be subordinate. You sign up for it. Did you sign up for this? No, you didn't. You never signed up for it. It was imposed upon you. And so in this sense, because you don't have a contract with it, and I will tell you this one thing, if you make a contract with somebody who you discover is dishonest and has a really dark motive, or it doesn't even understand what they're doing, they're just
unconscious, and something else is running them, some other agenda. Yeah.
You don't have to honor it.
Yeah.
When you make a contract and you have a covenant with somebody based in what is right, based in a principle, based in truth, that's a different thing. But when something is based in confusion and coercion and subservience, you don't have to honor that. You actually have the freedom to choose a different path.
Create a new contract with yourself.
That's right. And the fear is like the root canal. Get that fear root canal. Get it done. And what you have to realize is that the people that you've depended upon your whole life are probably not capable of fulfilling on whatever contract they've deceived you into accepting. They're never going to make you happy. They're just not.
Yeah.
And you're never going to be happy with yourself if you go on believing that they've got something that you can't live without.
Yeah. 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 It's the fear isn't something to get rid of. It's something that you step in front of, and you learn to let fear be there, but you act in the face of it. I always used to like to say that real courage or real leaders typically operate in the face of fear, not in the absence of it. And it may be fear within themselves or fear in others that they're subject to, but fear is in the environment, maybe your inner environment in your own mind, but it's not. My main point, don't wait to get rid of the fear to act because the fear gets handled as you are willing to be with it and let it. And as you be with it, it starts letting you be, and you act in the face of it. And as you start confronting your fears by acting in the face of them, the fear becomes less of the priority. People pleasing will become less of the priority. And what matters to you becomes the priority. You fulfilling on a purpose, a calling, something that your conscience, your inner light, your inner knowing is leading you towards becomes more important than what people think. And something I've learned, if you really want to help people, you're going to really help people, and be a contribution in the world and make some kind of difference in the world. You have to go beyond your fear of what people think of you, because your fear of what people think of you, if that's what's stopping you, you don't actually get to serve people, because you're making your own. It's selfish at the end of the day, because you're making your own, they liking you and not rejecting you more important than the difference you could actually make for people or humanity in that sense. And look, you're going to mess up. We all mess up. You're going to make mistakes. Things will go awry. Learn from them. Just be in the journey of discovery where you're learning. And the only way, again, out is through. So you're not looking to have the perfect conditions of no fear and no mistakes, because again, that's more people pleasing in a way. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to have failures, and you learn from them. Pull the gold out. What is there to learn there about yourself or about life or just about people? You extract the gold and you shake the dust off your feet. Step out of the drama, step out of your imagination, the judgment toward yourself, and give that up and keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. Keep putting yourself at issue with the status quo within your own mind and in your environment, in the world.
So you probably are familiar with a product called Goo Gone.
What's that?
It's when you get tar on the side of your car. If you go over a freshly laid road, you put the stuff on and erases
or oil.
The goo. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But see, the problem that we have, and most people don't realize it, is that resentment and fear are two horns on the same goat. Okay. And in order for you to begin to de-adhese yourself, the de-adhesive is the awareness of the resentment toward those who you feel subservient toward. You must resent them. See, you can't help but resent them. Yeah. But the observing of that is like the Goo Gone. It actually starts to remove the adhesive quality of fear, because fear cannot exist in a vacuum. It has to have something to feed off of.
Yeah,
right.
Anger,
and it feeds off of anger
resentment
and resentment.
Is the fuel.
Yeah.
For fear.
Yeah.
Very good. You've got to confront your anger. You've got to let it go. Yeah. You've got to forgive, forget, give it up, let it go. Because anger is a fuel. Little kids out on the playground, and They get roughed up or other kids are mean to them, and then they cry. They just, they get it all out, and then they're on to the next thing, but they don't carry it with them. People mature, or they stay immature. They start holding on to things. They start holding on to these little resentments, these little judgments that build up cumulatively into a pot of a boiling brew of anger. And in that opens up a whole portal of fear. It fuels fear. It's not raw and natural fear that is a part of life. And the fear that has you respond properly to a real threat in a real situation, someone walking up to you with a knife or something. It's not that fear gets contaminated by resentment and anger, and it also fuels it, and it keeps you in this whole system of then in your it's toxins in your systems, energetic toxin that then pushes you up into your head, into your imagination, and into dark places. Mm-hmm. And in those dark places come these dark voices. Yeah. And the voice of doubt, the voice of whatever drives you. Like earlier, David, you pulled up disappointment. Like for years, I lived from not wanting to be a disappointment, because at some level I was a disappointment. So I went around people pleasing, managing people's perceptions, and the things I would do or wouldn't do were based on not wanting to disappoint people. And that becomes its own kind of prison, because the truth is, when you start getting real with yourself and you start being more of an authentic expression, you will disappoint people. And again, you will make mistakes, you will fail, but notice if when that's there for you, something like being a disappointment and avoiding being a disappointment, the change that carries. And then you get resentful about that. And then you judge yourself. And then that judgment has to go, it's either going in toward yourself or it's going out on others. Yeah. And you're playing God in all of that. You become judge, jury, and executioner of yourself or others. But you're also, in this energetic field of fueling fear with this anger. And it's toxins. Yeah, it contaminates natural emotions. Yeah.
The word resentment is a very interesting word. The root of it is in the Latin, which means one definition of it is to feel again. But from the dictionary, it's indignation or ill will stemming from a feeling of having been wronged or offended. And the synonym of that is anger. Now, if you think about that, now here's the third one. The state of holding something in the mind as a subject of contemplation, or of being inclined to reflect upon something, a state of consciousness, conviction, feeling, and impression. We all have things in our life that we feel have been done to us against our will, things that have been put upon us, people that we've tried to be kind and good to have taken advantage of us, people that we have been involved with have tried to take advantage of our goodness, take advantage of us, period, didn't give us what we needed. And so there's a lot of that subconscious chatter in the back of our mind. And so just being aware, just being objective about being resentful, because you can't help but be resentful toward people who you fear. That's the other part of it, is that's their only power.
It's a false kind of power. Yeah.
It's the only power that they have is if you don't care at some level how those people feel about you or think about you, you've already taken away 50% of their power. You've just taken it away. Now, the second 50% belongs to you to let go of what it is that's happened and just move past it and just live in the moment, because every moment brings you a new opportunity to be the person that you can be, that you really want to be. And the second side of that is don't be the person you don't want to be. Just start by saying, I'm not going to be this person anymore. That's the first thing. Identify those things that you're resenting. Identify those things that you're afraid of. They're both basically two horns on the same goat. And just watch them until they fade away and take away the energy that you've been giving to it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, really good. I think it's a good place to wrap up. And I'll just say this, that start paying attention to your reactions to little things in life, little annoyances, your reactions to driving in traffic, and start paying attention. Where is that coming from? Your reaction to people you're getting annoyed, you're getting triggered, you're getting upset. Start noticing the small things moment to moment and catch yourself. Pay attention, catch yourself, give those things up in the moment, in real time, in real situations with real people. To start giving that up and start emptying your boat. Because when you start giving it up in the small things, it starts leading you to deeper things, deeper pools of anger, and maybe the source of those things. You want to get in touch with what's actually going on with you, rather than staying reactive and distracted by all these surface issues that in day-to-day life, your kids are doing something, or your husband or wife's doing something, and just start catching yourself. Pay attention.
Yeah.
Also pay attention. Is it the vortex that I've been speaking to, the matrix, the vortex of this world? It wants you upset. It wants you self-censoring. It wants you to be in a reactive state, numbing, distracting. Start catching yourself. Pay attention and notice, are you in reaction to the vortex, these outer circumstances, and distinguish it from what's just really going on with you.
Yeah. Yeah. The ultimate secret.
Yeah.
Observe
go ahead. Last thought.
Out of existence.
Say it again.
Just observe whatever it is that's eating away at you and gnawing on you. Just observe it out of existence, and it will go away.
Yeah.
It will free you.
Yeah. Become the witness.
Yes.
Yeah. Get present.
That's it.
Yeah. Get real. All right, you all. Thank you for listening this far. If you're watching on YouTube, we post twice a week on YouTube at Disrupt the Drift channel on YouTube. If you leave comments, like the channel, please subscribe to the channel. If you're listening on an audio platform, leave a 5-star review. Please share the show here. Share the show is how we grow. And the show has consistently been growing, and it's really through you. So thank you. I am Baron Baptiste, and keep disrupting the drift. Keep waking up. Stay bold, stay blissed, and peace be with you.